Apple rarely makes devices for the lower end prices, right? Well, earlier this year we got the iPhone SE, something that basically looked like the iPhone 5S, but had updated specs that kept it current with today's iPhone 6s. And I received this question a lot during our live stream, so I figured I should talk about it. Should the iPhone SE get an upgrade? Or probably a more accurate question, will it get an upgrade? It's very hard to tell, because would Apple really want to keep around the 5S looking model around for 2017? Will they upgrade the specs again to make it more iPhone 7 like? In other terms, what do you really want? Are you wondering if Apple's still gonna sell a flagship iPhone with a headphone jack? Maybe? Don't really think they'd move a dual camera to the SE. So the question I'm asking most of you who are wondering about that is, what would you really like to see from the iPhone 7 move to the SE? We all know the SE was never really supposed to have everything that the iPhone 6s had. Like, it didn't have a taptic engine, it didn't have 3D touch, but it did have a 4K camera, which was really great. One of the rare phones out there that has a 4K camera that doesn't bulge out the back. Now with the Google Pixel, that's the other phone that does that. But still, a very small and thin phone with decent specs, like an updated processor in the SE. So it's like the iPhone 5S died and was replaced by the iPhone 6, but then it was resurrected by the SE. So the 5 is somehow still around. There's very little design changes between the SE and 5S. There's some. A little bit of a different finish on the Apple logo and on the edges. But if Apple is going to make a low-end iPhone this year for people who want to keep the 4-inch display, I think they should take it a bit more originally. Back before the SE came out, I thought they were going to make an iPhone that looked like an iPhone 6. You know, it had the rounded edges, had the selfie camera and the headpiece side by side instead of up and down, and just made that exact phone except it's 4 inches. That we've never really seen before. Instead, I think what Apple did, and maybe to save money, was just use the old iPhone 5 factories and then tell the people making them in those factories, just replace the old chips with these chips, which are faster, and replace the old camera with this camera, which is better. What is funny is that you can still take live photos on the iPhone SE, even though it doesn't have a taptic engine. On non-3D touch devices, you can view live photos just by pressing and holding them. But once they did that, we were like, wait, why can't we press and hold on all our phones? Of course, that wouldn't work on every 3D touch feature, but it'd be really cool if they decided to add the taptic engine to the SE, because I'm really enjoying the taptics on my iPhone 7. It's a redesigned one, and like I said before, it gets taptics that the iPhone 6s doesn't, and it makes it feel much more interactive. It's amazing the kind of taptics you get out of the experience. Makes the phone feel more intimate and real. I know it's an Apple thing to praise because it has no functional purpose, but it makes the phone feel a lot more playful. So if we got that little iPhone 6 redesign for the SE, I think that would be a big step up, because we've never really seen that before. We could add those taptics and not just make it a processor upgrade, because in terms of camera shooting resolutions, we've kind of hit a wall. Like on the iPhone 7, we didn't get 4K at 60 frames a second. I still think we're a little bit away from that. Personally, I doubt this will happen, but I personally think they should ditch the headphone jack on the next SE, because they've made a commitment, right? Courage. They said they were going to get rid of it on their mobile products. They said they decided to keep it on the MacBook Pro because professionals need some kind of optic cable. I wish they would have just gotten rid of it on the MacBook Pro. I've said that before, I know, but I'd rather them gotten rid of it and included a USB to headphone jack adapter, and then they could say, there, if you absolutely need it, use USB-C. That would have made sense and it would have gone along with the iPhone 7, but the fact that they kept it there just seems hypocritical. So I hope Apple please sticks to the program and can ditch it on the next SE if there is going to be one. But another light feature that I think they could add to the SE that would make that purchase feel modern and current: stereo speakers. It's a very small thing. All they really did was beef up the speaker that's the earpiece. On the iPhone 7, that's really noticeable. It doesn't seem like it's gonna make a big deal, but the fact that when you're playing audio or watching a video and you have sound coming out of both sides, it makes a big difference. I don't know how big this wish list is allowed to be, but it'd be really great if we made sure there was no 16 gigabyte version of the SE, given that Apple's ditching a lot of those now. They discontinued the iPads with 16 gigs, and there's no iPhone 7 with 16 gigs. Maybe we could get IP67 water resistance? You know, it's a smaller phone, so less components go into it. So sealing it and making sure water doesn't get in, is that okay? How much more would it cost? Of course, they could update the front-facing camera to be 7 megapixels like the 7, but Apple did say about 30% of their customers are still fans of 4-inch iPhones, so I think it would make sense for Apple to refresh it. There's lots of articles going around, a lot saying they will update it, a lot saying they won't. Personally, I think they should treat every iPhone audience they have, given the iPhone is their top-selling product ever. Make sure you cover all your bases there. In other words, don't ditch them. It's just really really nice to see Apple products that kind of aim for more people on a budget. It's not an everyday thing, and it could keep them in touch with the people who don't have tons of money to spend on an iPhone. The SE was complimented majorly in the media for being such a great budget smartphone that can do a lot of things. So I think they'd get a lot of praise if they continued it. So there's your answer. I think they should. I'm not interested in one. I like the phablets. Phablets are big and powerful, and I love 1080p in my pocket, but I know a lot of you out there want to see phones stay portable and stay powerful. But yeah, if you're wondering if they're gonna continue the iPad mini, I don't think so. Sorry. The Mini 4 might be the last one. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.